Hi, I'm General Grudge, and I thought I would share my original comic book collection with you, even though no one asked, but I'm going to do it anyway. First page I'm going to show is a little too big to be with the rest of them. It's a nice two-page spread from Marvel The Lost Generation. It shows some of the Lost Generation characters fighting the original invaders. Has a villain Nocturnal, who's a cool villain. Unfortunately, the monitor glare is going to ruin this whole video. But anyway, there's that for you. And I've got one more that's too big to fit with the others. This is a nice page from John Byrne's Next Men. Most of my stuff's going to be John Byrne related. I sort of cheap framed this in a poster frame with some Next Men cards. Don't worry, I didn't put this on a wall or anything for it to be run by light. I just put it up in the closet. But it was just sort of a mock-up of how I wanted to get some of my stuff framed that I never actually got around to doing. Really big fan of John Byrne's Next Men. This is one of my earliest pages I ever got. That's why I liked it so much. Really cool. Alright, let's open the main core of the collection. I'm doing this. I haven't looked at these in years. The reason I'm doing this is I was sharing some of my original comic book collection website on Twitter, but I couldn't really remember what I still owned and what I didn't at that point. Because over the years, I'd traded or sold or for different various reasons got new pieces, and I couldn't remember which ones I owned and which ones I didn't. I do remember at this point, though, most of what I have is John Byrne, and most of that is Superman Batman Generations. At least that's the way I remember it. We're about to find out. Alright, so here's this this is just a random order. This is the first page. This is from Superman Batman Generations number 3. You get to see the twin daughters of Superman and Lois Lane, which is really cool. You also get a very small picture, if you can see it, of OMAC, the one-man Army Corps. So that's pretty awesome. Let's see if I can put these in a way where I don't hurt them. Okay, more Superman Batman Generations. This is Supergirl, which I think... Actually, those may have been the granddaughters of Superman Rider. I can't remember. My memory's bad. But this may be Superman's daughter. And here she's saving Batman from, Batman's offspring from some kind of time vortex. I'm going to have to read Superman Batman Generations again. It's my favorite comic book of all time, but my memory's so bad I can't remember much of it now off the top of my head. Another Generations page. Here you've got Superman confronting the Joker. The Joker has some kryptonite, which he thinks is going to hurt Superman, but he proves him wrong. Really cool page. Too much glare. I don't know if I get closer. How's this going to work? Yeah, this is going to be a waste of time. Another Superman Batman Generations page. This is the wedding of Superman's daughter to Batman's son, if I remember correctly. And someone in Lex Luthor's armor, I won't tell you who that is in case you ever read the book, shows up to harm everyone, and eventually Superman's daughter dies. There's Superman being attacked by the creature. Really cool page. Oh, there's some little sketches on the back. I don't know if you can see that. Just John Byrne trying to draw some eyes and other various things. Let's move on. Just a bunch of sketches here. Let's pull those open. See if we can remember what they are. I think I was given these by Jim Warden, John Byrne's art dealer. He'd just be nice to me. It was very kind of him, if memory serves. And I just got that piece of tape on that one. It's the best one of the sketches, too. If memory serves, this is Willow from Buffy. I'm not sure why John Byrne did that. He may have just been sketching things, had some ideas. That's still pretty cool, though. A lot of people like Buffy. I'm not one of them. But I do love this. This is a script layout for, I assume, New Gods. Yeah, New Gods. But he has a really bunch of cool sketches on here of different faces of the New God characters. And he signed it, too. So John Byrne. John Byrne's my favorite comic book artist, if you haven't figured that out. Always will be. Some more random John Byrne sketches. I can't remember if these are specifically anything, but they look cool. Here's another one. An attractive lady. I can't remember what she's from. And this is a Superman Batman Generations thing. I think that's one of the offsprings of the Flash. It says Hot Flash. A little play on words, a little humor. Good stuff. Alright, let's move on. Oh man, just spilled all that. Okay, this is one of my better pieces if you're worried about value, that sort of thing. This is a John Byrne cover for Transformers. I believe it was a trade paperback called Dark Designs. Really cool picture of Megatron. I mean, how cool is Megatron? I mean, that's really nice. People that says John Byrne don't put a lot of work into his drawings. Just look how nice and finished that is. You got some tombstones. They say Optimus Prime, Starscream, Fortress Maximus. Of course, it's like all original art, pretty much. It's signed by John Byrne. That's a really cool piece. Now this is my favorite piece. Unfortunately, I've got two pieces in here together. I'm not going to pull them out because I don't want to risk damaging anything. But this is where, in Superman Batman Generations, the Joker managed to kill the original Batman. But Batman's son, who was Robin at the time, switched costumes so the world wouldn't know Batman was dead and the Joker hadn't won. I also own the original color art for that. I believe her name was Trish Mulville. I'll have to look that up. I can't remember. I should take that out. That's the best piece. If I'm going to show off my original art collection, I need to show that off. Let's just hope I don't damage it while I do. Give you a good perspective of just how large original art pieces are. And if you don't know what original art is, it's the actual page that the artist used to draw the book. So each one is one of a kind. There's only one of existence ever. So if you're into collecting cool stuff, it's hard to get cooler than that if you like comic books. And that's my favorite page that I own. It's really cool. Here's a close-up shot of the original color guide. My goal eventually, and I've had these for 20 years, so I'm probably not going to do it anytime soon, is to frame these together and display them nice in a nice UV protected frame. Here's another Batman page on the back. I guess I'll show it too. I don't know when I started double bagging these. I haven't looked at these in so long. Should have put a little more thought into this video than I have. Got Batman fighting some random thugs. Really cool action piece by John Byrne. This is from Superman Batman Generations 3, it appears. Alright, let's move on. Alright, here's a nice page from John Byrne's Wonder Woman. Little splash page. You got Wonder Woman after she came back as a goddess, if my memory serves. It's an old comic book, I can't remember for sure. But she died and came back, so that's pretty cool. This is one of my earliest pages. This is from John Byrne's Superman run. Here he's got Green Lantern fighting I don't remember what these were called. Gosh, I can't remember. Anyway, original art's always cool to have, even if you can't remember what it is. Now this is a really great page. I don't know if you can tell how cool it looks through the webcam, but this is a John Byrne Sensational She-Hulk page, and he does duotone and they look really, really nice in person. It's kind of like what you might call a half splash page, even though that terminology is not right. A splash page is the first page of the comic with the title and all that on it, but collectors tend to call anything big a splash page or like a full page thing. And this is a beautiful page. I mean, you'd have to see it in real life. John Byrne does some beautiful detailed work here. And She-Hulk's always great. Everybody loves She-Hulk. Here's what I call a splash page from Generations 2. Here you've got the Joker being tormented in his mind by the ghost of the Batman he killed. That's a pretty cool page. You've got Dead Man in the picture too. So this is a really nice page. Lots of cool detail. I wish I could hold it in a way that the glare wasn't affecting it. Yeah, I love this page. I forgot I had this, so I'm glad I'm going through these and looking at these. There's also another John Byrne sketch here in the back of it. That's from Generations. There's another Superman page. There's another Generations splash. This is where Superman he'd come across some kind of bad kryptonite. I forget which kind it is. My Superman mythology is forgotten now, and he turns into like a giant Frankenstein monster. Pretty cool. He's picking up a ship. Got a helicopter there, I think with Jimmy Olsen in it. Trying to communicate with him, get him to calm down. Really cool page. Really cool stuff. Kind of classic 50s, 60s comic book style. Can't go wrong with that. Here's just a random Superman Batman Generations page. At one point, I was literally trying to buy every page from Superman Batman Generations I could get. I love that comic book so much. This is Joel. He's the son of Superman, and there's Superman's daughter. Now, the problem with Joel is because his mother was exposed to yellow or red kryptonite, I can't remember which. He never got any powers. And he thought he was eventually corrupted by Lex Luthor, that was all done on purpose. Ooh, I about dropped everything. Anyway, this is him fighting Supergirl here. Really cool page. Let's move on. Here's a page from Superman Batman Generations 2 where Superman's fighting a villain. I want to say he's like a Red Skull-esque villain. I want to say his name's like Mastermind or something. I can't remember. Really cool page. I just love the layout of this page, the way everything looks. I love this middle panel. Really cool page. Superman Batman Generations 2, Volume 1, page 12. Okay, here's another one I'm going to have to take out of the package. This is from Superman Batman Generations 1. This is a pretty close to being a splash page. You've got Batmite and Mr. Mxyzptlk. I never could say his name. They're meeting some aliens. Really cool picture here. I also have the color guide. I assume that's what this is. I don't know what I'm looking at. This is confusing. Oh. Yeah, that's definitely the color guide. I don't know why that one's got the black thing on it. I don't remember that. I would like to get this one framed with that as well. Anytime where I've got the color guide, and I own quite a few color guides from Superman Batman Generations. I don't usually buy, proofs or non-original art back then, but for Generations I made an exception because I liked the series so much. Again, most of this stuff's John Byrne stuff. I had a whole bunch of other artists and stuff, but over time I would sell some to buy new John Byrne stuff or buy a computer, and then when I bought my house I sold a bunch on eBay just to not be in debt. I don't believe in debt. I like keeping the stuff I collect, but I like not being in debt more. I believe you should do your best to be in zero debt. So I have sold a few of my pieces over time, and I'm pretty much just left with mostly John Byrne stuff. I sort of regret selling some of them. Like I used to have a nice Hellboy splash page. I wish I still had. Now here's a non-John Byrne piece. This was by a man named John Morse. He used to do an online comic strip called Jeremy. Jeremy was the son of Frankenstein. Frankenstein made him a son so he could have. And this was a cool little, can't really see it well, but Jeremy's supposedly giving a book report about Treasure Island. And honestly, he didn't read the book, and he's just making a bunch of cool stuff like lightsabers, monoliths, all kinds of neat little stuff. I like this. John Morse didn't sell his original art at the time, but I contacted him as a fan and convinced him to sell me that, and he did. And he also gave me a little sketch on the back thanking me for supporting his work back then. Really cool webcomic. I don't know if it's still online. It probably is. He was a very talented artist back in the day. All right, I'll have to open this one because this is a 2-page spread, I believe. Oh yeah, this is one of my favorites. This is the daughter of Commandy in Superman Batman Generations. It's a 2-page spread. It just shows you the size and scope, how big original art is. I'm like 5'10". I'm kind of a big fat bastard, so it just shows you how big that is. This is a beautiful page. I don't know if you can see it at all. Really cool. It's not the best format to do all this. One of my favorites. I would like to get that framed one day. Probably won't. Let's move on. This is my wife. Here's another Superman Batman Generations page. Here you've got Superman's daughter and Batman's son when they were young. They're out with, I think they call themselves Young Justice League. You also have the son of the Flash, as I remember. I assume it's Barry Allen's son. I can't remember. And they're fighting Weathered Wizard. I really love this page. I think John Byrne's art really invoked a good Steve Ditko style here, especially if you could see the Weathered Wizard. If you could see this stuff in real life, you'd see what I'm talking about. It's just really cool, underrated style by John Byrne. I don't know what that is. Here's another Superman Batman Generations page, again from the wedding, where Batman's son is marrying Superman's daughter. There's Lois Lane as she's older, talking to her daughter. But unfortunately, the villain shows up, kills Lois Lane, and kills Superman's daughter, and causes a lot of trouble. Wearing that Lex Luthor armor. Very cool page. I like that. Here's Superman Batman Generations. Here you have the older Joker getting arrested right before he reveals he killed the Batman. He's taking pride in it. He's lived his whole life in it. But then Batman's Robin takes that away from him by convincing everyone the Batman is still alive. Really cool page. This is the first page of original art I ever bought. I still have it. I can't remember where I bought it. I bought it online somewhere, a website that sold original art. This is from John Byrne's original Superman run in the 80s. Action Comics. You've got Superman. You've got Light Ray from the New Gods. Really cool shot of Apocalypse, Superman flying around it. This page, especially because it's the first one I ever bought, and I'll keep that till I die. Really cool page. And on the back, I've got a splash page from Jack Kirby's Fourth World by John Byrne. That's Metron using his chair to do some investigating. Nice little page. I forgot I had that. That's cool. Here's something I drew years ago. It's not worth sharing, but comic book concept I did. Never finished it off, so I don't know why it's in here. It's a little embarrassing. Here's a page from Superman Batman Generations 3. This is a page where you only see part of the original art because John Byrne would often add computer-generated stuff to his art. So this is a really interesting concept. You can see one of the parademons. You can see Superman fighting them. There's a big Barda. Neat little page. If you see the actual production page, he added a bunch of stuff background. John Byrne was way technical and computer savvy before his time. Whoa, we're dropping stuff. There's something else I've drawn. We're not going to share that. Here we go. Here we got a page from John Byrne's Babe production art. We got two different versions of it here. I'm not sure the process he was using to make this, but this is wow, this is nice. I forgot I had this. Nice. I think this is the first splash page where the character meets the character Babe. She's naked, and it says it was on a dark and stormy night. He's in the car. John Byrne added other stuff to the computer, I'm sure, there. Really nice. I literally forgot I owned that. That is cool. Another page from Generations, The Wedding. Really neat. And here you see, I'll go ahead and spoil this. This comic book's old. This is Superman's son. And Lex Luthor corrupted him, giving him his power back, giving him this armor. He got killed by his own men, or they tried to kill him in Vietnam because he was kind of an asshole. And he got rescued and saved by that Vietnamese lady, nursed him back to health, and then Lex Luthor turned him into an evil villain to get his revenge on Superman. So that's a page from that. Really cool armor design for the Lex Luthor armor there. I like it. Here's from John Byrne's X-Men The Hidden Years. This is a double page splash. I'm going to have to open that. Oh, it's double. Oh, man. I don't want to. I'm not going to. No, it's not a double page splash. I'm wrong. Yeah, it is. They're just separate for a change. All right. Let's see if we can hold these up. Here you got a Sentinel, a very powerful mutant child, destroying it with her mind, and I'm holding them backwards. Pretty cool. So it's essentially a double page spread there. That's neat. Ooh, we'll have to take this out. Let's sit this down. First we'll show the front page. This is just a page from Wonder Woman. Nothing, just cool. If you like comic book art, it's still cool to look at. You see a lot of these comic book artists today, they don't do anywhere the detail or the backgrounds or the neat little stuff like this is. But what makes this cool and special to me personally is it's very special for Superman Batman Generations. Let's see. Gosh, I need to get this out because it's pencil on the back of it. It'd be really easy for me to damage it. If I remember correctly, this is the first concept art John Byrne did to do Superman Batman Generations. You got head sketches of the Batman and Superman from 1939. I won't read all the text, but he's got some really cool text talking about it. Boy, it's going to be really hard to see in this. Maybe further back better. And then on top of that, he's got some thumbnails for the first four covers that they give me. This is really cool. That's from Superman Batman Generations 1's covers 1 through 4. That's really neat. I'm very tickled to have that. Let's see what else we got down here. We got some production art from I don't remember. Was this from Babe? I can't remember what that's from now. You got sort of a naked lady with a staff confronting a sci-fi guy. So it's not Babe. Oh, what is wrong with my brain? Why can't I remember this? Critical Error is what it says? I can't remember. Inside you have another Superman Batman Generation page. Here you got Batman's son. He goes a little bit extreme after Superman's daughter, his wife, is killed. He gets a little too vigilante and people have to calm him down. That's him in his new suit he got on. This was a more edgy suit. And get a little nice image of the Batcave down there. Pretty neat. Oh, here's a little page that's a non-John Byrne. I used to have a friend, we used to run a comic book creating club, and his name was Don Liu, and a bunch of people, we had like 3,000 people in that club, we would create little amateur comics, for fun, and he was one of the better artists in the club, and I got him to draw my favorite comic book character, Captain America. So there's a Don Liu original. Not very many people on that. And here's another Generations 3 splash page. You've got one of Superman's granddaughters, and she's in love with an alien Green Lantern. And I can't remember what's going on. That's all I remember. Early onset dementia, I'm sure. Here's a Lost Generation page. You've got, I think this character was named the Black Fox. I loved that comic book. It wasn't very popular, but it was very good, at least as far as I remember. Really cool concept. And here's a nice John Byrne's X-Men cover I forgot I own. Really cool. This isn't by John Byrne, though. This was Q Dreyer, maybe, I believe that was his stepson. I'm not going to go do any research because I can't remember things, but something to that extent. Really nice John Byrne X-Men cover. He wasn't a Christian, but I am. That's why I liked it. That whole book was very special. John Byrne, someone who was an atheist and very vocal about it, he still showed a little respect to the subject matter, and I always liked that comic book because of that. Here's a pinup by someone that I don't even remember who is. Nice little pencil pinup, though. I used to support a lot of indie creators back in the day, and I would order stuff from them. Sometimes they'd send you a little piece of art, and that's something I got from one of those, and I can't remember who it was. And this appears to be the last page of original art. Another Generations page. It's from the Batmite episode where they're fighting these big imaginary monsters. A very Lovecraftian Cthulhu-like character. Pretty neat. You got a very 50s Batman on a gyrocopter. Really cool. And I think I've got some color guides left to show you. And then we'll be done. We'll go through those real quick. These are just all Superman Batman Generations. I was going to collect all these I could. And eventually the plan was back then to frame them with original art, which of course I didn't do. These are nice, but these aren't technically original art. So they're not, if you're looking to buy things, they're not going to be as valuable or as sought after as the original art. But they're still pretty unique. Really cool. There's a nice page of Lois Lane defending herself from some muggers. And that appears to be it. So I have considerable less original art than I used to. I've sold a lot of the more fancy non-John Byrne Generations page over the years to buy a house and computers and different things. I sort of regret that, but it is what it is. Anyway, see you later.